Most expensive construction mistakes. Humans are prone to making mistakes. However, some of those errors may become really expensive, some even costing billions of dollars. Errors are everywhere, including in construction. Sometimes you'll find a mistake even in the most thought-out mega project, but this is not always the case. Today's video will look at some of the most expensive construction mistakes. So let's get started. 20 Fenchurch Street. The 20 Fenchurch Street building was named just after the street where it was constructed. This commercial skyscraper can be found in London. It belongs to a Hong Kong manufacturing company known as Lee Kum Kee. This company bought this building for about $1.8 billion when it was constructed. It has even set a record price for a single building in the UK. When the building was completed in 2014, it was known as a walkie-talkie because of its distinctive shape. Still, it was also called the ugliest new building in Great Britain. However, the name was not the actual problem with this building. The 20 Fenchurch Street building has a not-so-expensive mistake that was made in the planning process of the whole building. Like all other skyscrapers, this one was also fitted with a large glass front. And it goes without saying that all windows reflect sunlight. However, instead of having straight walls, this one has a concave curvature that concentrates sunlight at a point. This curved side is on the south side of the building, which unfortunately is the side that the sun shines on. The sun reflecting from this side concentrates on the street and houses on the opposite side, especially in summer. These parts experience the sun rays 6 times stronger than the regular sun. This generated too much heat that melted parked cars and caused cracks on the sidewalks. A Sky News reporter even fried an egg across the street to prove how intense the heat was. Raphael Vinoli was the architect behind this building. He was also the one behind the Vdara Hotel in Las Vegas, which also experienced a similar problem with the sun reflection. There were original plans to add horizontal louver windows to deal with this problem, but these plans were removed. Eventually, they installed a sunshade, which fixed the problem but cost about $14 million. Stuttgart 21. This is a significant railway megaproject in Germany. It also happens to be one of the most exciting construction sites in the country. This is because an entire train station has to be rotated by about 90 degrees. Before this station was a terminus. This meant that the trains would have to leave the station in reverse. Given all the valuable time this would cost, the government decided to transform it into a transit station. This station would be added to the continuous 1,500-kilometer long high-speed rail line that connects Paris, Stuttgart, Munich, Vienna, and Bratislava. Eventually, the Stuttgart 21 was set to cost about $5.4 billion when construction began in 2010. Its completion date was set for 2019. However, neither of these goals was achieved. The completion of this project has been facing delays due to various reasons. The current completion date is now set for 2025, more than 6 years from its original plan. Stuttgart 21 was not only delayed because of protests by many Germans and environmental activists, but also because of difficulties with the tunnel construction. To connect the station to the existing rail network, around 60 kilometers or 37 miles of tunnels have to be built. The only problem with this is that a particular type of soil swells once it comes into contact with water. This makes it harder to work because even if they were to build the tunnels above the soil, they would have to renew the tunnels repeatedly. Another problem in 2017 with the station's construction was that thousands of strictly protected lizards had to be relocated from Ulm to Stuttgart. This has been estimated to cost about $18 million. This is mainly because the responsible company is charging them $10,000 per lizard. This station's estimated cost is twice as high as the original cost, soaring up to $12 billion by completion. Citigroup Center. This is an office skyscraper found in Midtown Manhattan, New York. It stands at 280 meters and has a very unique design. It stands on 4 foundation pillars, each 34 meters tall. Back in 1978, there was a significant problem with the building. By then, the engineers calculated the stability of the structure by calculating the winds that hit it perpendicularly. However, they did not account for the quarter winds that hit the corners. This problem was discovered when civil engineer William Lemaitre discussed it with civil engineering student Diane Hartley from Princeton. The student raised the issue that the building was unstable and could fall over at any moment if it were hit by a strong wind. Once some tests on the structural safety of the building were carried out, the engineers discovered that Diane Hartley was correct. William estimated that the winds, which occur every 55 years, could cause the building to collapse. However, if the installed mass damper were to fail, even the winds that occur every 16 years could be strong enough to make it collapse. If the building fell, it would be catastrophic given that it's surrounded by other buildings on all sides. It would be a horrific scenario, and it had to be avoided. Engineers were threatened by Hurricane Ella, which was headed straight for the city. This meant that they had to do something fast. They worked at night for 3 months to solve the issue, during which they decided to weld 2-inch steel plates over the bolted joints in the building. This would increase the stability of the structure. This multi-million-dollar repair was completed in October 1978. Jeddah Tower. Formerly called the Kingdom Tower, Jeddah Tower can be found in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. It was to become the first 1-kilometer high building globally, at the height of 2 Empire State Buildings stacked on top of each other. It is also part of Saudi's push to diversify its economy towards tourism. It is just the same way Dubai has the Burj Khalifa. It began construction in 2013, and it was planned to be completed by 2018. However, a Saudi Arabian purge in 2017 caused some significant problems in constructing this tower. Because of this, work stopped with only a third of the building completed. The Saudi Arabian government captured and imprisoned significant investors in this project, including Prince Al-Walid bin Talal. A few months after the investors were released, the construction was still on hold. However, this time there was no due date for its completion. When construction stopped, the tower had already reached a height of 252 meters. Construction was to resume in 2020, but the pandemic caused more delays. This is because the workers could not work in such conditions. Since then, the site has not had any progress or activity. If the construction were to stop where it is right now, the investors would lose about $1 billion. Berlin Brandenburg Airport. This is an international airport project in Germany. Construction began in 2006, and the project was initially estimated to cost around $2.4 billion. Opening in 2011, however, throughout the structure the building experienced nothing but delays. These were caused by embarrassing failures and corruption. The first delay happened in 2010, a year before the original opening date. This was when one of the involved companies was declared bankrupt. Later delays happened because the airport did not comply with the fire protection requirements. In addition to that, the airport also failed the acceptance test, which was required for it to begin operations. Not only that, but the building was also fitted with about 67 kilometers or 37 miles of cooling pipes, of which none had thermal insulation installed. This meant that they had to take down dozens of walls to replace the lines. These caused the cost to triple, coming to about $8.3 billion. Eventually, the Brandenburg Airport went into operation in 2020, which was 9 years late from its original planned opening date. However, even though the airport is open, it is doubtful that it can sustain itself financially. It may require more funds to prevent bankruptcy, costing $2 billion. Which one of the buildings most surprised you? Let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.